These are the best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege right now for solo queue. You get a lot of guaranteed value out of these picks, plus some upside. I'm going to lead with a W plus mouse 1 character that started it all, Ashe. Since Yana lost her frag grenades, in terms of entry fraggers, Ashe seems to have the most amount of flexibility. Ashe has a really good gun, destructive util, and she's a 3-speed. She doesn't have any particularly strong glaring weaknesses. As far as entry fraggers are concerned, any entry fragger that has destructive capability from range is going to be a huge asset for your team to deal with the occasional bulletproof cam or deployable shield. The range therein helping you do this without overextending your body. You also have a massive gunfighting advantage over a ton of your competition with the R4C or the G36 if you want to run the scope. I like the R4C. I think the one-time sight isn't really a downside when you're making aggressive plays at short range. If you don't have picture-perfect crosshair placement, the rate of fire on this thing will often land you a headshot anyway, and it'll melt in body shots too, even if you don't hit the head. Like any gun recommendation, I suggest you go into the firing range and try it out for yourself. Use the G36 if you like fighting from range, R4C if you want to get up close. Ashe also has claymores, which are neat for covering your teammates' outside runouts before you go into the building. She's just really good at taking pressure off of your teammates' decision making. She can go below to open the wall with the breach charge. She can make aggressive plays and hit really good timings. Her guns are good. The only thing that she's significantly lacking in is hard breach, which we'll talk about next, but yeah. Ashe is definitely up next for entry frag of the week after Yana lost her frag grenades, in my opinion. This video is sponsored by the R6 Champion Roadmap. This is a coaching program that gives you personalized tutoring for Rainbow Six Siege, 6 weeks worth of tutoring in hours total. You can get the entire thing for $75 if you use my code Gregor at checkout at the link in the description. Again, this is personalized tutoring for Siege. It's not an automated thing where you go and look up a bunch of videos that you could already look up. This is somebody who knows what they're talking about, who's going to give you direct, actionable advice like any other kind of sport. If that sounds cool to you, again, it's $75 if you use my code Gregor at checkout at the link in the description. Thanks to R6 Champion Roadmap for sponsoring. All right, it's no surprise to anybody, but if it needs reiterating, Ace remains the best bang for your buck in terms of hard breaching right now, just due to the nature of the game. Doing something from a distance is always going to be safer than having to plant the charge right on top of the thing, and Ace has claymores to cover his runouts, so he's pretty self-sufficient in that regard, even if the wall is outside. The only thing that Ace suffers from compared to his competition is the fact that he can't open as much stuff as his teammates in terms of destructive potential. But he will give you more guaranteed wall opens, which is what you want. You throw the 2 Ace charges side by side, and Bandit can't do anything about it. Plus, he can make a standing level hole for easy access. His AK-12 is really good. I'm still kind of blown away he ever got it. An almost necessary gadget for big walls where you need to go in and plant. Plus, a solid fragging weapon rounds out a pretty much necessary kit. Ace is just crazy good right now. Habana's better for hatches. Thermite is good for outside walls because he blows up more stuff at once. But in terms of safety and in terms of guaranteed wall opening, Ace is the guy. So if you want to do a more specific job than just opening the wall, then our next pick is for you. Despite a number of setbacks over the years, Sledge still remains one of the most versatile and contributing characters in the game who can do a wide variety of different things. His frag grenades can be used from below to depth charge, and he can obviously sledge for verticality from above. He interacts with the game's destruction mechanics in the most direct and impactful way, and he can cover a ton of ground completely by himself. Not to mention, his L85 is one of the better attacking primaries. It hits like a truck from pretty much any range imaginable, and if you don't hit the head, the recoil is virtually non-existent, which allows you to carve through your opponents like a knife through butter. The only big drawback that he has is his 3 armor rating, which makes a ton of noise and makes him not as much in terms of a self-sufficient character. He's a bit of a sitting duck if he gets too overextended, but if you check your corners and you make good usage of droning, you should be okay. Sledge teamed up with a buddy is a great duo Q strat to get verticality working regardless of the situation, and just having him on the board gives your team so many different options. Not to mention the frag grenades can be used for kills as well as getting rid of gadgetry, and he brings a ton of guaranteed value. So he's really good across the board. He fits into pretty much any team comp. Good solid floor of guaranteed value and a ton of upside. Next up on the list is a character that's one of the best flank watchers in the game right now, Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi is, like the rest of the characters on this list, a multifaceted character. She has a hard-hitting gun, which is really good in its own right, but she has a ton of gadgets and gizmos that contribute a lot to her team in a supportive fashion. She has pocket EMPs for one, she has a Gon 6, and her gadget is hugely important for the roam clear. Defending operators don't really have an immediate counter for the logic bomb. If she calls you and you're not in the vicinity of a mute jammer, it'll make a noise. When you make a noise, you'll reveal your position to enemies that are close enough, and that's the end of that. There's no counterplay other than the mute jammer. So unless the team is allocating a ton of resources for that aspect of the roam clear, which is really rare, Dokkaebi is a great roam clear operator 99% of the time. She has solid weapons, she has the ability to get the wall open, or at least help get the wall open. She can dispatch an occasional deployable shield. If that wasn't enough, her primary weapon is also just really good. And it's well suited to passive angle holding from a distance, especially with a 2x scope. She's a purpose-built character that's good at what she does, and she's up there in terms of flex support for that reason. Our final character is also in the flex role, but plays in a bit more of an aggressive kind of posture. But all the characters I've just listed next to each other can make for a really great lineup. Finally, we got Lion. So Lion is exceptionally good in terms of gunfighting. The 417 is undoubtedly the best DMR in the game, and the V308 is one of the better full auto primaries. Regardless of what you do, you'll get very solid fragging potential, plus pocket EMPs and a Gon 6. But unlike Dokkaebi, Lion is good at playing a little bit more aggressively. But whereas Dokkaebi is more involved in the initial early game to establish the presence of roamers, Lion has 3 charges of his gadget, allowing him to space them out over the course of a round. Maybe if you bring a Dokkaebi along with a Lion, you can divvy up the resources a bit more evenly, and then you have some Lion scans pocketed for a post plant, which is really good. You can eviscerate the roam game, then you can help with the side execute and the later stages of the round. If that wasn't enough for you, just like Dokkaebi, he contributes with the gadget deletion device, the Gon 6, and he can help open the wall. So he helps with the early, middle, and late stages of the game, and he has great gunfighting ability. So Lion's one of my favorite characters in the game right now for these reasons. He's very self-sufficient, and I think if you're playing the game even semi-competitively, you already know why this guy is so high up there. He's a great addition in many instances in a competitive environment and in a solo queue environment. An honorable mention goes to Gridlock. So Gridlock obviously got frag grenades recently, and I know a lot of people fixate on this point and leave it kind of a broken record, but frag grenades do make a big difference in terms of the viability of an attacker. In the case of Gridlock, her only particularly glaring weakness is her 3 armor rating. You can make a case that it's not the end of the world considering her playstyle. Gridlock went from being a solo queue champ to a hugely important competitive pick in a matter of 1 patch because of the frag grenades. The reason being is that she really just needed that little shove in the right direction to truly shine. Her F90 is one of my favorite ARs in the game, with a very smooth spray pattern that's easy to control and doesn't get in your way. So it melts when you aim for the head, and it doesn't give half bad body shot damage either. The other components about Gridlock's play that make her so powerful are her shotgun and the track stingers. The track stingers make working verticality with a teammate so much freaking easier. I can't tell you the amount of times I've wanted to work vertical, but I just don't have enough certainty or confidence to ascertain whether I can do it safely or not. Gridlock quickly and efficiently gives you the ability to at least know if somebody is coming your way, even if they just shoot the track stingers and try to push you. That early warning is crucial. Nomad is better for, we must guarantee no runouts from this window, or we must guarantee no crosses from this doorway. Stuff like that. Usually you have a plan ahead of time. But Gridlock is good if you're just kind of working on the fly. The pocket shotgun gives her some useful verticality, and she can combo that up with frag grenades, obviously. She's got a lot of things going for her, and I can definitely say, after getting frag grenades, her pick rate is going to skyrocket. Who did I miss for the top 5 attackers in Siege right now? Let me know in the comments.